this night, Quentin Collins has found that he can no longer stay at Collinwood, that he must begin his search for the girl he loves. His journey must begin where hers began, at the Collinsport train station. But tonight, he will learn that the journey can end in death.
That's the train to New York. You told me you were going to Boston.
I changed my mind.
Then you are going to New York to look for Amanda Harris.
What do you know about Amanda?
That you think you're in love with her?
I don't think. I know it.
Well, isn't that a little inconvenient when you're going to marry me?
Angelique, I tried very hard to care about you. And I would have gone through with our bargain. I really would have. If I hadn't have met Amanda.
Quentin, don't bore me with this nonsense. We haven't time now.
You're right. I have a train to catch.
I wouldn't get on that train if I were you.
Now, why not? Are you threatening me, huh? What are you going to do, kill me? Well, you go right ahead and kill me. At least I'll die walking away from you.
Quentin, I wouldn't hurt you. No. I promise you that if you get on that train, no harm will come to you. But Amanda Harris won't be quite so fortunate. No, wherever she is now, when I stab this doll with her brooch, she will die. Horribly and painfully.
You wouldn't do that.
You'll make me do it if you get on that train. You decide, Quentin. Does Amanda live, or does she die? I'm waiting for your answer, Quentin.
It seems I have no choice.
Well, now, that's my Quentin talking. A little less romantic, a little more realistic.
Don't touch me.
Why not? We are engaged, and we're going to be married. And then you can get on any train you like. With me.
I'm not going anywhere with you.
Yes, you are. You're going back to Collinwood and plan our wedding day.
Doesn't it bother you that I detest you?
Yes, of course it bothers me. But you'll get over that. I'm sure of that. One day Amanda Harris will leave your mind as easily as that train just left the station.
I'll always grieve for Amanda.
Don't grieve, Quentin. Don't grieve, or you'll be grieving for a dead girl, not an abandoned one. Shall we go back to Collinwood? Oh, good evening, Edward.
Good evening, Kitty.
Edward, the strangest thing happened to me this evening. I was sitting in my room, and the window was open, and the night air seemed to be calling to me. It was as if some great adventure were waiting for me in the night. Come walking with me, Edward. Let's find adventure together.
Oh, I'm afraid I can't, Kitty. I'm expecting a phone call.
Oh, Edward, I don't mind.
The call I'm expecting is rather personal. I wouldn't want to burden you with it.
Edward, the Collins family is very fortunate having someone so strong to run it.
Thank you, Kitty. I do what I must.
Perhaps some other night.
Of course. Excuse me, please. Hello? Oh, yes, Dr. Seward. Oh, thank you for returning my call so soon. Yes, I wanted to ask you how my sister is doing.
Who is it? Well, I know someone's there. You may as well answer me. Who is it? Edward? Edward, is that you? Who is it? Leave me alone. Leave me alone!
My dear, what's the matter? You're trembling. What happened?
No.
What do you mean?
I was in the woods and someone was watching me.
Was it someone that you could see?
No, but I know that I wasn't alone. Someone watching me, watching every move I made, never took their eyes off me.
Oh, it must have been some stranger who took a wrong turn.
No, it was no stranger. I had the feeling that it was someone who knew me very well.
How very curious.
Who is that?
It's Quentin's fiancé, Miss Dubois. My dears, you haven't met. I would like you to meet Miss...
You were in the woods watching me. You've always watched me, always spied on me. Well, you won't spy on me anymore.
Kitty! Kitty! Angelique, are you all right?
Yes. I'm all right.
Kitty. Kitty.
What happened?
Don't you remember?
I remember being in the woods, and I was terribly frightened. Someone was watching me.
You accused Angelique of watching you.
Angelique?
Quentin's fiancé. I was introducing you, and you tried to strangle her.
I tried to strangle her? I can't believe it. I don't understand. Did I hurt you, Miss
Dubois. No, you didn't.
Well, I don't even know how I can apologize for something like that. I can only say that I could not have been myself. I don't know what I could be thinking to... Please, please forgive me.
A night like this can cast all kinds of spells on people.
I would like to go to my room, Edward.
Let me go with you, Kitty. You're still as pale as if you'd seen a ghost.
Shall we go into the drawing room and discuss our wedding day? Quentin? Quentin?
I think I know why she did that.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
The hate I feel for you was somehow transferred to her mind, and she suddenly hated you enough to kill you.
What an interesting theory, Quentin. Well, I'm sure you'll come to know sooner or later that the reason that lady attacked me has got nothing whatsoever to do with you. Shall we go into the drawing room?
I would like a brandy.
Please. After all, I'm still a little shaken from my close encounter with death.
Too bad she didn't succeed. I'd be free.
Well, she didn't. And you might as well face the fact that you'll never be free. So learn to love your jailer. Thank you. Just one more thing. The wedding. Any time this week will be fine.
A week from tonight, then. That'll put it off as long as possible.
Edward, ever since I've come to Collinwood, I've been saying and doing things that I simply don't understand. Perhaps it would be best if I went away.
You mustn't, Kitty.
Oh, Edward, I cannot go on like this.
I think I have an explanation.
What is that?
Gerald's death was a shock to you. More than you realize. You've kept your feelings in check for too long. It may have affected your imagination.
Edward, then you think it's all in my mind?
I think so. Yes.
Edward, please forgive me if I've been difficult.
Only if you forgive me.
Why, Edward, I don't understand.
I should have sensed when you wanted me to walk with you that you needed me.
Well, you had the phone call to wait for.
No, I was selfish. I wanted to go with you, but I've always found it difficult to change my plans. But I shall change, Kitty. I would so very much like to look after you. So please don't talk about going away.
Edward, I may take a good deal of looking after.
I will provide it, Kitty.
Edward, I have the feeling that what happened today is only the beginning of something. Well, as a matter of fact, I'm terribly frightened. Oh, Edward, I hadn't even admitted that to myself, and now I'm admitting it to you. But the truth is, I am terribly frightened. Edward, I'm crying.
Go ahead and cry, my dearest. It's good for you. It can be a relief from fear.
Then you will always protect me when I'm frightened and have patience with my tears.
Of course I will.
Then I will be safe, no matter what happens. Good night, Edward. Good night, my dear, dear friend.
Good night, Kitty.
Yes, well, then we'll have an informal ceremony. It's a shame it has to be such a small wedding. I'll be a beautiful bride.
And I'll be a miserable, unhappy groom.
Quentin, why must you throw away your love on that nobody? There's so much I can do for you.
Edward, how's Lady Hampshire?
She's a little better. She's a brave woman. There's much more to her than you would imagine.
Yes. Yes, I'm sure there is. Edward, Quentin and I are going to be married at the end of the week.
Congratulations. Angelique, would you please leave us alone? I want to speak with Quentin.
Yes, of course.
Well, what's the big brother tone for this time?
I don't like the way you treat that girl. I don't understand your attitude about your marriage.
My attitude is my concern, not yours.
That girl has suffered enough because of this family. I don't want her to suffer anymore.
What do you mean?
If you recall, she was victimized by Barnabas Collins.
Oh, that's right. So it is, huh? Well, brother, may that be as it is. But let me tell you, I'm going to continue to treat my bride-to-be any way that I choose. I assure you, she understands, huh? Excuse me.
Not quite so fast, Quentin. There's another matter, a little less personal, but it concerns us both. I've been meaning to talk to you about it ever since Barnabas was killed.
What is it?
You found Barnabas Collins in his coffin. And yet, despite knowing that he was a vampire, that your brother Carl was killed because of him, despite all of that, you walked away and let him live. Why, Quentin? Why?
All right. I didn't kill him. I admit it.
And I want to know why not. Why, knowing what he was? It was Charity Trask who killed him, not you.
Well, maybe in the end, Edward, I am as human as you are.
What do you mean by that?
You had Barnabas Collins locked up in the cellar of the old house. You could have destroyed him. You had the gun and the silver bullets. You could have ended it all right there. So why did you wait for the dawn to do your work for you? Why did you give him the chance to escape? We have both faltered, Edward. And a mad child has finally done our work for us. So let's just drop it at that, huh?
Quentin, you can be convincing. I remember your glib tongue as a boy. But I pride myself on being a judge of character, and no matter what you say, I will never trust you completely. What's the matter?
Well, you know, I didn't think I'd ever laugh again. And just think, you caused me to do it.
I'm not aware that I've said anything humorous.
No, of course not.
Well, then kindly enlighten me.
You just said that you are a good judge of character. Well, if that lady upstairs is any indication of your approval of people, we are all in a great deal of trouble.
What do you hold against Lady Kitty?
Oh, I wouldn't dream of telling you, Edward. After all, that would be interfering in personal affairs. Nope. I shall let you find out about her all by yourself.
Mademoiselle. 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 I told him, Mademoiselle, that in our country it's flirting with misfortune to ever let the bridegroom see his bride before the ceremony. What did he say to that, Angeli? He assured me that he would never cause you misfortune. Oh, no, not for the world. But he begged you to give you some tokens so that you would not forget him. I would never forget him. Oh, I told him that. May I see the tokens? Something for the nose and eyes. And something for the mind and heart. Poems and songs of Robert Burns. Oh, how did he know that was my favorite? My love is like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. My love is like the melody that's sweetly played in tune. And I will come again, my love, though it were 10,000 miles. It's beautiful. Yes, beautiful. Every everything is always so beautiful for the little mademoiselle. But be careful. Too much good fortune can make the gods jealous of you. Jealous of you. Jealous of you. Jealous of you.
Where was I? Who was I? What was happening to me? Why was Angelique my servant? I don't understand. But I don't really need to. Edward says it's all in my mind.
Poems and songs of Robert Burns. Then it's not in my mind. It's not. It's happening. Something is really happening.